huge warm welcome to you just joining us now. Welcome everybody. We'll just give everybody a moment or so to join us for what is going to be, get ready, a consciousness raising, frequency raising, huge guidance session. Yes, we are going to be raising the roof. That is definitely the intention, raising the frequency, raising the consciousness. There is going to be just some 26 dimensional, incredible guidance for you today. I've been so excited about this session. So let's just make sure that we are connected. Drop me a note in the chat, say hi in the chat, let me know where you're tuning in from. We knew that today was going to be a big energy session. I mean, how could it not be, quite frankly, with the portal that we're in now and the time that we're in, which we're going to be speaking to you about. So we've had nearly 1,000, I should think it will go over 1,000 people registered for this. I can see now we've got so many people joining. We've got over 250 as I'm talking now. So welcome to you all. We're so excited to be here with you. Can't wait to get started. So yeah, looking in the chat here, Vianne is here. Hello, Vianne. We've got Ann Nelson. We've got Barbara from Oregon. We've got Jolene here. We've got Nancy from New Jersey. Wasn't sure where you were from there. It said, sorry, I'm from New Jersey. I love that. We must be the frequencies already. I'm in a bit of one of those as well today. Zach always gets me going like that. Do you want to say hi, Janet, while I am just chatting to them and welcoming them in chat here?
Well, I'm pretty overwhelmed. I expected quite a big number because I know Ariella, that energy gets out there. But Zach is busy at the moment. And we know we are culminating at this incredible time, which we'll be talking about, of course. So I just want to say it is an absolute privilege and it's a gift to be here and to be invited by Ariella today. And I can talk on behalf of Zach because I know how excited he is. So if I'm a little bit crazy, a little bit manic, that's only because I have him very much on my shoulder when we're about to do things. So his energy, and don't be surprised if you feel his energy. These 26 dimensional characters, as I think of him, and he's the one that tells me he's there, they can be everywhere with everyone at once. He's not just here with me, he is with you at this moment for sure as well.
I can definitely feel him. Yeah, his energy is very present with us. Okay, cool. So let's start this off just while more people are coming in and you're saying hi and you're connecting the chat. We've got over 300 of you live with us at this point. So yeah, just welcome to you all. So obviously, as you will know, because you're all in the spiritual community and we're plugged into similar guidance, right? We are in this huge portal at the moment, and the energies are just absolutely like catalytic, right? And transformative as we're stepping into this ascension portal. And as we're making our way to winter solstice, this very much, spoken about time, revered time in the spiritual community. Many people talking about it really being this threshold where we're stepping into the age of Aquarius. This time that we've known about has been coming for a long time, been prophesied by many different masters, channels, and tonight Zach as well, and Janet. So we're definitely going to be finding out from Zach more about this, what this really means, how we can prepare for it, what is Zach's take on this incredible time that we're entering. So we've got some more information for you on the energy, which we'll speak about in a moment, but just in terms of a planetary, from a very grounded perspective, right? I mean, what isn't happening on our planet at the moment? 2020, obviously massive year in Earth's evolutionary journey. COVID-19, the Great Awakening, as many of us are calling it in the spiritual community, but the great shifter, right? The great shifter of all shifters has happened this year. So, you know, what are we looking at in 2021, right? As we step through into 2021 now, in terms of COVID, where does the vaccine fit into all of this? You know, what is Zach's perspective on the vaccine as well? Because I know that he's been very vocal about this. So really looking forward to getting that guidance tonight. And then we've just got just a few things happening, right? In Europe, in England, in Europe, and also in the States with Brexit. We've just had the American elections. I mean, this year has just been absolutely massive. And as we're stepping into 2021 now, which is, by the way, you probably know, some of you, it's a 5-year, it's a 5 planetary year. So the 5 always follows the 4, thank goodness, right? Because we've been in the 4-year this year. The 4-year has been about really realigning us from a planetary point of view to actually evolve to the point of view where we can birth our higher purpose, our planetary higher purpose, which is why there's been such changes happening this year. Next year, the 5 vibration is very much, it's about change. So we can definitely expect some more change, sometimes unexpected change. So expect the unexpected still, but it's also about freedom. Also very much about freedom, which is why the 5 often feels like a relief after the 4. So really looking forward to digging deeper into 2021 and what that might herald for us all. So you've seen her on the screen. She's spoken a little bit. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself a little bit more to you in a moment, and also introduce Zach. But my introduction to her is, look, Janet is quite simply one of my favorite people in the entire world. She has been one of the most helpful people to me, because Janet was she was one of my first ever spiritual mentors when I went through this whole multidimensional awakening, right, at age 36. And her and Zach have been my guides for the past 4 or 5 years now, and have just brought huge gifts into my life. So Janet is now, I'm really blessed to call her a friend. We have also co-created courses together around energy management. And we are very much what we would consider to be like supernatural sisters, right, Janet?
Oh, yeah.
On the path. Yeah. So yeah, Janet is she's incredible. She has got some incredible talents and some incredible gifts. So she really truly is a master channeler. She's my favorite channeler. She's an out of body clear channeler. And Zach, the wisdom that comes through Zach is incredibly high. It's incredibly wise. So I know that we're going to get some great guidance tonight. There will be some time for open Q&A at the end. I'm going to ask a few questions first, and then we're going to open it up. But Janet, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's just such a pleasure always to co-create with you.
Pleasure, thank you. So I'm sure quite a few people that are here might have seen me, perhaps with Ariella, or on different places with Zach. But if you haven't before, Zach is an aspect of the Ascended Master Dwal Khul. He probably, if he was here, would be sort of scrubbing that out. The only reason for it is it's become very relevant in the time we're living in now. He's all about equality and balance and unity. And he starts with himself. He doesn't want to be seen as something up on high, something to be looked at and thought, oh, you know, he's here and I'm here. He is everyone's friend. He's quite humorous. He tells a few bad jokes. It's not so much jokes, it's just his little funny turn of phrase that he has.
He's very funny. Very funny.
I mean, the laughter breaks the ice for him and also opens our heart to energy. And he is, at this time, he first came through calling himself as a guide for the future before we even knew his name. And that was over 10 years ago. And he came through as Dwal Khul through Alice Bailey at another really big change of time, again, as a guide for the future. And at the moment, he's really coming into his own. He doesn't predict quite in the same way as maybe some others do. What he does is give the highest potential in the moment. So what you'll be getting today is the highest potential here today on the 17th of December. So he's taking all that energy. So there's very strong likelihoods, but he can always add yet another flavor to it of what people are maybe battling with a bit at the moment, dealing with, going through. So this personality of Zach that he is, it's a true life. It's not a made up life. It's a life he lived in Syria, a very simple, humble, loving, caring life of the earth. And so the way that he actually projects himself, he has the wisdom and can connect with all sorts of different things, but he actually comes through in this personality, and he wants to just be by our sides. He doesn't want to be out front. He doesn't want to be behind. He wants to be standing shoulder to shoulder with each of us. So he is very optimistic. He's a big fan, he says, of humans. And he actually quite likes our little foibles as well. And he has so much patience with us all. And so it's always such a pleasure to bring him through. And as Ariella said, I'm an out of body channel. So again, if you haven't heard this before from heard me channeling, my energy does leave. I move as much consciousness outside of myself as I can when he comes through. So he takes over my body. So the voice is quite different. It's still obviously my vocal cords, but it has a tinge of slightly dodgy Northern Indian accent that's sometimes coupled with a few other accents. We never know. And I ask him why sometimes he does this, because in the age of political correctness, it's not always the best thing to be doing. But he does say that this is to remind us that we are all things. We've been every single race, color, culture. We've been everything. We've had so many different lives. And so he likes to bring different elements of his lives through as a little background. And it's just a reminder here for us today as well. Whatever we're going through now, we've got it. We've got the experience of the ages in our ancestry, our soul ancestry, our soul lineage, and we can remember how to be the best that we can be and how to evolve. Or if he uses the word tonight, his own little word, he calls it evolate, to evolve and elevate at the same time, and he calls it evolating. So he says we're all evolating right this moment.
I like that. Evolating. Yeah, he does make up his words, doesn't it? They're always very, very, profound words. I like that one. Evolating. Okay, well, we're going to speak to him more about evolating tonight, I am sure. Okay, great. So Janet, you and I have been talking quite humorously actually about the energy, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody on this call is going to be an empath and intuitive, I'm sure, so we'll be feeling the energy. But we all know, right, or hopefully you do know, if you don't, you will now, we entered into this ascension portal from the 12/12 every year. Between the 12/12 and winter solstice, a very accelerated ascension portal opens. And we can go through big shifts, big evolutions in our ascension journey. So that happens every year. We had the new moon on Monday just gone with the total solar eclipse. Eclipses are all about bringing things up to the surface, right? So that we can see them, so we can release them, so we can evolve for them. So we really have a powerful opportunity now as we're stepping into the winter solstice, which is this great time, right? Which many people are talking about, and the astrologers are going crazy about it. They're calling it the Great Conjunction, because Saturn and Jupiter actually meet on the winter solstice this day on the 1st degree of Aquarius. So this is where a lot of the noise is coming from in the spiritual community. And Zach's going to talk to us more about this. So we're in a massive, massive energy portal. So definitely time to be tuning within, definitely time to be raising our awareness, becoming really aware about what we're creating and how we are shifting in this portal. I'm definitely seeing it in my life as well. Redirections are happening, right? We're all being redirected to align with the highest versions of ourselves as we're stepping into this portal. So, it is a little bit the case of getting on our surfboards at the moment and like riding the wave as soul, as source, as the universe redirects us. So I say humorously because Janet and I, we were talking, when was it, Janet?
Tuesday?
A couple of days ago. Yeah, a couple of days ago. And Janet you were telling me, do you want to tell them a bit about your supernatural experiences?
Oh, just from the fact that recently I just keep seeing into lots of different dimensions, and I work multidimensionally, but I choose when to do it, and it was getting very confusing and having to set very strong boundaries and intentions because everything is opening up. But I was also saying to Ariella, I felt like I've been walking around in a massive bell that was being thwacked from the outside. Everything was vibrating through me, and everything that I was doing, I was still just keep vibrating. So I think quite a lot of, I mean, whether it's multidimensional, everyone's got their own different openings up and different boundaries really that are sort of almost like you're stepping over boundaries without even knowing it, and it's finding that way through so that they're comfortable to be in without losing our own reality or feeling like we're in the middle of a bell and vibrating the whole time.
And you were saying about the importance of really upping our energy management at the moment, right? And how you're having to, even as a master teacher of this work, how you're having to be very specific about your intention at the moment.
Really specific. I mean, as you know, I teach all about energy management. A bit tongue-in-cheek, I've got a bit of a title of Queen of Protection, more because all the students, I'm bang, 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 I'm really on it. It's such an important part about our health and well-being. And even though I've been doing really good, strong energy management since the age of 12, many a decade now, I have found that I've had to be very, very clear, and still things are happening. So rewording, rejigging, finding different ways to support myself through it and support those around me, of course, as well, because the earth is going through it too. That's the thing. Everything that we've been bombarded with in a good way, but we're still being bombarded. All these light particles, which I'm sure Zach may well be talking about, the parts of creation that are going through into us are going through into the earth as well. We're all a part of it. So you might actually have to be supporting your home. Your home might be feeling different. Your land might be feeling different. And so it is about shift, moving with it, flowing with it as much as you can, not being at the mercy of it, but also not fighting it. That's another thing of Zach's real points at the moment. Fight is an old paradigm. We're moving out of fight and into finding ways of connection, of flow, of harmony, of actually bringing. He keeps talking about the phoenix, the phoenix within all of us, the transformation out of the ashes. So not this conflict that never truly wins, but a real uprising, a real change. And that means everything around us is changing on an energetic level as well.
Mm-hmm. We can definitely talk to Zach some more about energy mastery as well as we're stepping into this portal. But what was funny anyway to me, and then when I shared it with Janet, is that on Tuesday when we spoke, she was like, how are you doing, Ariella? You often are like seeing beings and tapping into different dimensions. How's it been? And I was like, well, you know what? I actually haven't had. I don't think I've had that much recently, right? Interesting what you sent out to the universe, because the next day I messaged Janet and I was like, oh my God, last night was off the scale, like just having some very, very trippy dreams, very trippy. And I realized that actually I needed to do a big clearing of my energy in that morning. I had actually picked up an intrusive energy which had hacked into my dream state, and I was having quite distressing I won't go too much into it. Janet knows. Janet knows the details, but I think we're pre 9 o'clock here, so we better not, share.
They were hacked. They were definitely hacked. They were not your dreams you were having.
It was not my dreams. No, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. It wasn't my dreams, honest. So I realized that I'll leave you with that. I can say a lot of things will be buzzing around there, but so I am just so grateful, right? And it's one of the things that I'm grateful to Janet about, because she taught me, and then we actually went on to co-create a course on it. I'm so grateful that I do know about energy empowerment these days. I know how to clear intrusive energies. I know how to detect it. And even when you are a teacher of this, which both Janet and I are, and we are pretty sovereign chicks these days, right? Because of our passage into this and teaching it, you still sometimes will allow, like your soul will sometimes allow an energy attachment to occur because there is a lesson, there is a teaching for it. Maybe it's because I'm sharing it with you now, right? And I've got to the point where I can be open about this, and I understand what's happening, and I feel empowered enough to be able to speak about it. So it was just interesting that after that discussion I was like, oh yeah, no, I actually I did have a little something the next morning that was playing a bit of havoc. So energy management and protection, really important at the moment, really, really important for all of us empaths, all of us intuitives as we step into this passage. We'll definitely speak to Zach a little bit more about it. But something that we felt called to share with you this evening, because we're coming up to the winter solstice. We are coming up to Christmas, and hey, hasn't it been a heck of a year for most of us? So we've actually put together something very special that we feel is very special and very generous for you guys tonight, that we wanted to share with you just in a couple of moments, just before Zach comes in as well. So we have actually put together, so Janet and I have co-created 2 courses together, actually. One is our Quantum Dark Arts Defense Training. It's a certification course. It will help you to know how to clear intrusive energy of all sorts, with and without consciousness, not only from yourself, but you'll actually be certified of how to clear it from other people as well. So your clients, it in fact sets you up with a business, if you so choose to become what we're calling a protector of the light. And really helping to transition lost souls. And we go very, very deeply about very advanced energy sovereignty techniques within that course, and really setting you up to be the masters of your energy. That's the first course. The second course, so there's 3 courses in one that we're putting together. And perhaps I'll just share it with you. It might make more sense if you can see this on my screen briefly, and then we will give you the link for this if you feel called to go deeper. So it's our Christmas special. You can get these 3 courses for the price of one. So Quantum Dark Arts Defense Training, as I say, it's a certification training. It is co-trained by myself and Janet. You basically get pre-recorded specialist, very advanced online trainings with both Janet and I. They're split into modules. They'll be delivered to you inside your members portal. There's going to be over 28 hours of training in that. You also get 3 live online group calls, Q&A calls with Janet. Okay, so Janet herself, as you're learning the course, as you're integrating, you can ask Janet questions on that. And you get lifetime access to that. There's also an amazing bonus training. So this is a 2.5-hour additional training. Once you become certified, then you're going to be given access to the Black Magic and Occult Removal training. So this is really born out of Janet's extensive experience of being an energy practitioner and a spirit release practitioner. Janet, do you want to just explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, spirit release is my first love. It's still there with me. I had such experiences when I was a child that later on I trained, and it was not only the first thing, I went really in depth with lots and lots of different training, lots of different styles, different cultures. And over the years, especially when I lived in London and I was seeing everyone in person or in the outskirts of London, I got to see an awful lot of black magic cases. And so in a way, I became an expert through putting everything together, but also knowing what did and didn't work. You quickly know when it doesn't work, when it's working with black magic. And I have always found it incredibly fascinating, incredibly. And everything is energy. It's nothing to be scared of at the end of the day. And the difference it can make to people is huge. The way I live now, and as you know, most people know me as a channeler, and that takes up a huge amount of my time. And so even though I focus on the training, what has been so wonderful in this way is I've never been able to properly teach people before how to do this remotely. And of course, the times we're living in, remote is so important. And then Ariella has these amazing skills, which are all remote. So we came together with different skill sets and we've combined it. So you have this array of tools and you can work with people all over the world. You can work completely safely. You can free people from things that are often lifetimes or ancestrally. That really does. It's not as some people have said to me, oh, black magic only exists if you believe in it. I used to think that early on. It's a very true and big energy to deal with, and so we really wanted to bring that, and we've actually brought it as a separate one so that you would be really ready, so that you did the other training first, so that you felt comfortable to actually go off and practice with it. And this is this real beauty as well of having the Q&A calls, so that you can, if you've got questions, because there's always questions once you actually start working in something, I'm here, I'm live, I will take all of the questions and be able to share those with you as well.
So that is the first course. As I say, we're bundling in 3 here, and we've got a really amazing Christmas and winter solstice invitation for you. The second course is my Creation Code Initiate program. So this is a 4-month program which is designed to help you to go from human to superhuman in 4 months. I can't wait to speak to Zach and find out all about our superpowers that we're going to have after winter solstice, because part of my calling is really to help to activate the superhuman potential in all of us and activate these sometimes dormant, often latent superpowers that we have. And you're going to see some incredible superpowers from Janet tonight. So it's a process to design to help to shift your blueprint, to upgrade your blueprint to what I'm calling the quantum human blueprint. So that's a 4-month course. So you get access to pre-recorded drip-fed video content for this. There's 11 75-minute pre-recorded masterclasses with myself. They're in your private membership portal, so you can access them whenever you like. And there's going to be 4, this starts in January, there'll be 4 live 60-minute Q&A calls with some of the most incredible oracles that work in my community. So we've trained over nearly 150 counting now oracles, and they are going to be with you as part of this program, really answering your questions, supporting you to understand, to illuminate your soul purpose blueprint and to activate your soul purpose blueprint. Okay, these gifts, and helping you to really discover who you are while you're here, and aligning you with your highest soul destiny. So that is course number 2. Course number 3, we've been talking about energy mastery. Well, this is a 4-week course that Janet and I put together really as a precursor to the Quantum Dark Arts Defense certification training. So this is some of the most advanced, most progressive, most detailed and deep energy mastery techniques that you will ever learn. I mean, Janet is really, truly a master in this. She has been teaching in this space for many, many years now. She was the one who taught me everything that I know, and then we've come together and we've pulled together our trainings. We've co-created this course as well, and we take you on a 4-week journey so you can really learn to be masters of your energy. And the people, the feedback that we had was phenomenal on this course. Many people had gone through different courses, but they were saying there's just like new teachings, new things, new progressive knowledge that they hadn't heard before that comes through in this course. So you get, it's a 4-week course, there's 4 video trainings. This is all put in your membership portals where you can access it whenever you like. And you have ongoing access to that course as well. So we have got this incredible Christmas special for you. You can get all 3 courses for the price of 1 here. So Quantum Dark Arts Defense Certification Training, regularly we sell that for £1,111. Creation Code Initiate Program, that was until very recently £2,222, and the 4-week Energy Mastery course would regularly be £444. So you can see the total value there, just under £4,000, which in dollars is probably around the $6,000 mark. But we have got this special price for you. We've got this special offer, the special invitation, and we have got a very, very special bonus for you, which I just had drop in this morning. I think it was Zach, Janet, because I just spoke to you before this call and I was like, do you know what? I feel really called. So for the first 30 of you who sign up to this, you're actually going to come together in a small group, just an intimate group setting. We've got nearly 400 of you on the call today. So just 30 of you in the new year are going to be in a group setting with Janet, with Zach. Janet will be channeling. You will be able to have that opportunity to ask your questions to Janet, get guidance about 2021. So that is for the first 30 of you that sign up. So we've got an incredible offer and price for you here. So there's 2 options. So the total value plus the bonuses comes to just under £5,000, which is probably about $7,500. But we have got a super Christmas special. It's 3 courses in 1. So the option 1 is that you would pay in full, which is £888, which I do believe comes to about $1,111. That would be the pay in full for all of those 3 courses. Or you can pay monthly, which is £277 over 4 months, split over 4 months. So that's option 2, which I'd need to have a look at the dollar conversion there, but I should imagine it's around the sort of $375 mark, something like that. So I am pretty sure that the link will be dropped in the chat for you. Go and check that out. Tune into that, and as I say, this is really something which is going to support you as we're going through this ascension wave, and something that combined is really going to support you stepping powerfully into the next evolution of who you truly are. Plus, by the way, the certification course, the Quantum Dark Arts Defense Training, it actually helps you to set up a business, and I give enlightened business coaching as part of it, where you can be earning at least $10,000, like $15,000 in your first year. Okay, in your first year. So we're always looking at ways to empower people, and to empower people not only energetically, but also financially, particularly as we're going through this shift into the new paradigm. So we hope that serves you. We hope that supports you and empowers you. And well, hey, let's get on with a bit of Zach channeling, I think now. Janet, what do you think? Are we ready?
Absolutely. Should I skedaddle and so that we can bring Zach through?
I love that expression. Yeah, you go up into, what do you do, Janet? Just talk them through. How do you skedaddle? Because I think this is awesome, actually.
Okay, so in a nutshell, I have a energetically protected place. You could think of it as in your imagination, but I actually think it's out of my body completely. And it's a beautiful meadow, which is more real to me than the real room I'm probably in right now. And I've worked with it and honed it for many years. So I move off and I will sit and be an audience just like you, but I have the very lucky part of being sitting in a meadow that's always springtime, and I normally make daisy chains. So that's why I say I'm gonna skedaddle. Only takes me a couple of minutes to shift, especially as I know Zach is so ready to come through, and I'll make the shift coming through. And obviously Ella will talk to you until he's here.
Is your dragon still in the meadow?
He is, yes.
She often rides on her dragon in the meadow, which I think is very cool indeed. All right, so Janet is pretty used to people talking over her now as she just moves out of place. So yeah, if we just all hold space for Zach to come through and maybe drop into your hearts. I will be asking some questions on behalf of the group, just in terms of what I feel guided to ask, but also there will be an opportunity for you to ask a question as well. As I say, we've got over 400 of you on the call now, so but I will come to as many of you as we have time for today. So maybe just, tune in and think about what question you would most like to have answered. And what I would suggest is that you ask a question that the group can benefit from the wisdom of the answer of. That would be super generous for all of the souls that have turned up here live. And we've got, as I say, probably over 1,000 now signed up in total. So hello, Zach.
Welcome, my dears.
Hello, Zach. Well, they have turned out in full force for you today, Zach. We have many beautiful souls here. Over 1,000 people have turned up to listen to this live stream. So 1,000 people very keen to understand a little bit more about 2021, what we can expect. And I think, Zach, first of all, where I'd love us to start is let's talk about this incredible portal that we're now in, and winter solstice on the 21st of December. And from your perspective, Zach, I'd love to hear what you feel this portal is bringing us into Earth and to humanity. What is it all about?
Well, it is good, because as you say, looking forward to next year. But let's start with the now. Let's start this moment, this very moment as we are talking together today. You are feeling as if you're in turbulent seas, I'm sure. It is so topsy-turvy, everything that is going on in physical world, in mental world, in emotional world, everywhere you turn, even the spiritual world, even those of you adepts, those that tune in regularly are having headaches, are having difficulties on occasion. And how to say, the message certainly for today is you are really reaching at the crescendo. So do not be worried. Do not think, oh, I've got years of this ahead. The aspects of the energy coinciding with such a stressful, pressurized time here on Earth has opened up a gateway. Yes, of course, you could say that this has been written about for a long time, but we have to also make it happen. And I am talking we as in humanity. Humanity has made this portal happen. It is not something that is just vague outside in the universe and like someone pushing you over. It is a force from outside. It is a force coming in, but it is also a force that has been created by the earth, by the universe, and by humanity. What I mean by that is the pressure pot that you have been living in, and for generations and generations and generations, because remember, emotional energy, collective energy affects your stratosphere as well, has allowed this portal to take place to the level it is being created now. If none of this had have happened, if humanity had have taken a very different direction, all hugged and loved each other for the last few hundred years, you'd probably barely blink and notice what is going on now because you would be there already. You would actually be living in times of unity and harmony. But that is not so. So we work with what we got. And the energy that is coming in is changing you at the level of light. And this light, and I know Ariella will understand exactly what I'm saying here. The light is what creates you. Creates your soul, creates you in its tiniest formations, in the sacred geometry. And so no wonder you are feeling such pressure, such difficulty, because this is changing at fundamental level. But the good thing is you do not need to do anything. You need to simply allow it to happen, something that humans find so hard to do. But if you allow it to happen, you will naturally align to the universe. You will naturally align to your hearts, to others' hearts, to the earth, to your soul. We are moving into this time of heart coherence. And what does coherence mean? It means also communication. And so communication outside of self too. Is this a good start point, my dear?
This is the best start point. Can we talk a little bit more about the 21st of December, winter solstice this year? So do you agree, Zach, that there's a lot of noise in the spiritual community talking about that this will be us really stepping into the age of Aquarius? Do you agree with that? And what can we do to prepare for this?
Absolutely. I was one of those saying for many months now that this is the date of the tipping point. Because of course you have been going into the age of Aquarius for some time. Things in your universe do not happen on the calendar that human created. They take a period. But you could say on this particular date, with all the other things that are happening, with the conjunction and other such things, you are moving so that the energy that you predominantly feel is that of Aquarius rather than the Piscean age that went before. And therefore, everybody, whether they are aware of it or not, are making far more connections to their heart, listening to their heart further. A conscience is rising, you could say, in some people who may have been all noodle, and ignoring the heart. But also this, as you say, the 21st of December, being solstice as well. A lot of people will be honoring the light, how you say, returning to earth as the days get longer. And you are actually honoring the light in the Aquarian age turning into your body. So yes, but do not expect big flashes of light, big lightning bolts. This is what humans want to happen, because then they can say to their friends, this is happening, you can see it. A lot of people were very upset in 2012 when there wasn't something cataclysmic going on. But actually 2012 heralded the way of this. There was a big shift, but it happened over such a period of time that people did not notice. But if you look at even how people talk to each other, how people express themselves, the things that people care about, it is actually quite different now than it is before. And again, in the future, you will look back and say, you know what, before 2020, my goodness, I was a different person. You were a different person. The world was different. So yes, it is happening, but it is happening all around. On that particular day, particularly if you put focus on it, if you say, oh, it is the solstice and I'm doing something, maybe ceremony, maybe sitting peace, maybe simply having a cup of tea and looking out the window and marveling at the beauty of the world. Whatever you're doing, you're putting focus. And as soon as you put focus, you put awareness. As soon as you have awareness, you have further awakening. So you can be at peace at that time, but accept and allow the changes to come. And then you can really infuse yourself and make most benefit of the energies of that day and beyond.
A great day for ceremony, for setting intentions, it sounds.
We are going to have a party.
A party. I love it. Yeah.
I just
really grounded.
But you know what? It is not just in physical world. We like to be joyous. You can think when you are having your parties, even if it is just a party, you and your dog, I know it is difficult times to be around other people. You can think of all of your loved ones, whether you know them or not, from this life, spirit loved ones will be partying, because it is always worth to party when you have more light in your world, is it not?
Partying and laughing, very high vibrational. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's just have a big party in the spiritual community on the 21st of December. I'm down with that. Energy management. So Janet and I were just talking a little bit about this. I'm sure you heard before the call, just the importance of energy management. A lot of sensitives, a lot of empaths, really reporting that, you know, this energy is very intense, right? They are experiencing it very intensely as we're going through this portal, this shift. Any 26 dimensional tips on energy management for the viewers?
Yes, everybody's alignments is changing. Your compass, you could say, is changing. And therefore, the awareness of your energy is changing. You may feel more sensitive, or you may think, my goodness, I can normally feel all sorts of things, but I feel very dense and heavy. So whatever you are feeling, honor it, but also address it. Address it. Ask your heart, what do I need? What do I need? At this particular time, we are not so much looking at ourselves and protecting ourselves, which is important all the time, but this is not a particular point of that. It is more about, integrating, yes. Integrating the energy that is coming in. Because you could feel very floopy. You could feel very fluffy, very strange, very strange, very strange if you do not. And so you do not have to need any particular expertise for this particular way of doing it and this particular time. But you do need to trust yourself. If you do not trust yourself as you are delivering help to yourself energetically, then it will not work, of course. So just say to yourself, I can do this. It is a gift that I have been born with, even if I've never used it. And then, maybe research, do whatever if you do not know too much about it. But just make sure that you are not only grounded to the earth, ground to the center of yourself. The heart is becoming more and more and more and more prominent. So you can ground through your heart, not just through the root and other parts of you. You can, yes, as I say, protection. If you are feeling, it is more about protection from live people. If you are feeling the energy of people who are upset and all these different things, yes, you want to help them, but do not lose your energy over this time. Help them without giving away, without, seeping out in this way. But just be gentle with yourself. Do what is needed. Do not berate yourself during this time because it is new for everybody. New for everybody. And just follow the heart of what is needed. What is needed. But yes, do not just look at yourself and what you need in a physical way, mental way, emotional way. Look at your energy too, because it is going to be big, it is going to be expanded, and it is going to be shining like pretty stars up above.
So looking forward to 2021, Zach, obviously huge year on planet Earth this year, 2020. What are you seeing as the most probable timelines for humanity as we step into 2021 concerning COVID? What do you see concerning COVID? And then I'd love to get your take on the vaccine after that.
The main thing is, whenever it fades away, because as things start to maneuver out of your vision and goes into the peripheries, other things come into view, and humans do that quicker than you would think with things changing. What the residue will be left is a deep awareness of self, a deep awareness of where people are at. If you were not very physically healthy, this will have really brought it home. If you were not very mentally healthy, this will have been. So this will actually activate a very vast, we expect, movement, not necessarily from particular associations, medical, whatever that you might be thinking, even though those will happen as well. This is a grassroots movement of people coming together who are similar. If there's a lot of people who have difficulty with weight, they may come together to exercise. If there are others who have had mental difficulties, they may come together to talk, to share. This is about community spirit growing. This is about people being aware of their vulnerability, but the beauty of next year, people being far more aware of their strengths. This year has highlighted vulnerabilities, and people have had to really dig deep for their strength. Some people have sailed through, some people find it easier, but the majority, this is new territory for them. And so this coming in and learning their strengths, you may remember what it was like the first time when you were a child, and maybe you won a little medal for something, or maybe your parents gave you a little gold star for doing something well, and you sat there and said, oh goodness, this is so good. It is that same feeling when you think, I am stronger than I would thought, and if I am strong, maybe other people can lean on me. And this is the underlying energy that we expect for the movement of people coming together in greater unity. You are seeing it this year with so many people coming together to oppose, far more opposing than agreeing, is it not? And we expected, coming up to this particular time, this particular month, a vast chasm of polarities. This always happens with this time period and with this move into the age of Aquarius before, bing, it goes back together. But that happens over a period of time. So the first things to look for is encouragement of people to be aware of their strengths and to help others as much as helping themselves. The other thing we're expecting is people to be thinking in greater terms, not just what is good for themselves and their immediate family, but for other people. This is really highlighted vulnerabilities all across the world. Often in quite wealthy nations, people are in their little pods, but now everybody feels like it is far more in it together. But what it will naturally bring, and what we are expecting perhaps around the springtime, is maybe a dip in emotions from people, because where everything had been so together, thinking of themselves, thinking of these things, and a little bit out into the world, suddenly, as I say, when it starts going more into periphery, when it starts to fade away, when it is not the big ogre so much anymore, and actually they see all of the things, the refugees, the difficulties, the poverty and things, what has been left behind. A bit like a tidal wave that comes, and then when the waters go back and you see what is left behind, you can think, oh my goodness, this is such an enormous task. How are we ever going to get through this? How are we ever going to move into a place where all of this debris is not only cleared up but healed? But then I say to you, when you feel that dip, do not think it's going, down, down, down to a never-ending hill. It is a natural happening with a cycle. So be the person who starts the cycle that says, come on, let's do this together. Come on, let's raise energy together. It is not down to one person to bring the money to help. It is not down to one person to organize the help. It is down to communities and communities of people, and communities do not have to be localized like they used to be. You are in a technological age where communities are from across the world. I know now as I speak to you, I am speaking to people from all over the world, and you are a community. And so communities of like-hearted souls can come together, and without looking for particular praise, recompense, whatever, they do it for the joy. They do it for the joy. And then what we expect to see is a lift as people start to go, we can actually do things. This has been a year of non-action. So much action going behind the scenes, but so much that you want to do, not being able to do. So can you imagine the joy and the freedom of suddenly doing things that you have been taking perhaps for your whole lifetime for granted? And so we are seeing that there are going to be cycles in 21, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And what we would say is, when you are down, reach out to others to lift you up, to give you a bit of encouragement, a little bit of a boost to keep you going. But when you are down, remember where there is always a way to come up, always a way to come up.
And what about the virus?
The others. You
what
see it?
about the virus itself? Are we going to see an end to the virus in 2021?
The potential at this moment in time is a likelihood of the mutations moving into lesser and lesser and lesser strains. Now, the good thing about this is what we expect at the time is for it to become less effectual in the body than your normal flu virus. We know this hasn't happened yet, and yet you have seen mutation upon mutation where there are no side effects at all. Or it is only to do with people's genetic disposition that perhaps they get more symptoms than others. And so what we are expecting is your medical and scientific world to be able to identify these far better. At the moment, everything is being treated as one big virus, even though they talk about different mutations. And this is natural because if they did not, who knows what could happen is how they think. It is a bit like there is an army coming towards you, or should I say, people running towards you. You do not know those what you are going to fight and which one are running to hug you. And so at the moment, they have to treat absolutely every single strain as if it is the archenemy. But as more information comes through, as more people are finding that there is not so much. Yes, there are strains that are giving people terrible problems, of course. But when this happens, this is how we're expecting it to fade away, fade away, fade away. We do expect in years to come that there still will be a virus known as this. The way your world is, with people being so international, it is unlikely that it will go completely out of existence. However, they call it herd immunity. We call it energetic upgrades. With people over time getting into a system where it becomes aware of this virus and not taking on, we do not expect it to be in any way as contagious as it is at this time. And people often ask me, was there a plan? Was there this? Was there that regarding the virus? And what I would say to everybody is, when we focus on where it came from, we are not focusing on the solution. Now, that normally gets a big groan, I understand. But at the same time, what I would say is we are moving into this lighter energy. It is not about embracing the virus, but it is saying, my word, humanity needed to create a massive shift in the way it thought, the way it acted. And this is what humanity created. And I'm talking humanity overall. I am not talking about human noodle ideas of good, bad, or other. Just simply, it is in your world. It is very weird. It is not a friend. There are viruses in your body that are friendly to you. But at the same time, it is not always the arch enemy either. It is a messenger, as you know, my dear. It is a messenger. Understand, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that answer. So more mastery from our scientists and the community. What is your view on the vaccine, which is being rolled out now, Zach? Is this safe, or should people be cautious? What's the view?
Everybody should listen to their hearts, first and foremost, because anything that you put into your body will know if it is welcomed or not. Of course, we can override things with our mind by saying that something is being welcomed to get a more useful interplay between body and it. But what we would say is many months ago, there was vast concerns, we understand, not only just from certain communities, but anyone who cared about their health regarding these. What I would say now, the potential at the moment, and this is where something that could be very useful for you to hear, that which has been developed is, how to say, it is designed in the most simple structure that it can be. Excuse this body, I cough. Yes. So what we mean by this is it hasn't gone through years and years and years of development of different things that it can also do. It has one job and one job only. Different vaccines are doing that job in different ways. You may feel more aligned to one method than the other. You may feel you do not need it. However, you may feel that you do come under a vulnerable category. The most important thing is if you have it, is how it makes you feel. And I'm talking about emotionally. If it gives you a feeling of freedom, if it gives you a feeling of I can live and not worry and do such things, that can be no harm in that, because your body can transmute anything that you put inside it. I have heard tales where people have said, oh, but if I have this vaccine, my soul will be taken from me and never ever have again. And then I said, then who have you been listening to? First of all, your soul can never be taken to you. You could have every terrible chemical in the world dust all over you. Your soul is still attached to you in exactly the same way. It is a part of you. So anything that you hear that does not align with your heart, I would say disregard it or just hear what resonates with you. The most important thing is this is bringing hope and optimism. I've spoken about this a little bit before, just not to yourselves. And it is very important. I was talking about the collective energy that affects your stratosphere, that it stretches out into the magnetic field around your earth. It supports your emotional stability. And therefore, if more and more and more and more and more and more peoples are putting hope and optimism out into the world, that can never be a bad thing, because that is supporting growth. Hope and optimism opens doorways for new innovation. And this is another thing that we are needing for next year. We are going into not only about the age of Aquarius, it is the age of the third eye. It is the age of the heart. Put the two things together and new innovations. Innovations helpful to all, not just the few. And so we need that energy. So bringing out hope and optimism. Even if you think to yourself, well, I would never have it. Maybe you feel hope and optimism for all of those people that have. I would say if you are thinking, well, I do not agree and I want it to fall on its face, just be careful, my dears. Thoughts are incredibly powerful. If you are thinking, however, I hope, I am optimistic, this will do wonders for the human race. Think what you are putting out there. It is not always important about being right in a belief from the past. It is about changing in the moment, even if it is something that you felt very strongly about. And this is not me standing on my soapbox saying have a vaccine. That is not it at all. I am simply saying the choice is yours. We are not saying not to. We are saying the choice is yours and you will know. Some people are far too sensitive for this, of course, and they will react because they wouldn't take anything into their body, you know? And so this would be very uncomfortable. But if we are looking for the majority of people and what it could bring about, then of course, if we are putting that out there and we let go the need to be right for something from the past, we just want our hearts to be right in the moment, we can add from our sitting room, not even talking to anyone, not even doing anything, we can help the possibility of it being a complete success. Understand?
Yeah, sage advice as always. Thank you. We've got some hands up here. There's lots of questions. There's one here from Joe Kimber. She's saying that there's so much talk of an Australian ceremony in Uluru, and it's important for for the solstice. Have you got any wisdom to share about this? For instance, do we have to send light at an exact time for the most effective impact?
You know, I appreciate my dear. I can hear her from her meadow. She is saying, many people, be quick, be quick. So I will answer questions relatively quickly and keep them succinct. So this with Uluru. Uluru has always been vastly important to humanity in times of the really big cycle changes. It was here right in the beginning. It was part of the start of the humanity that you know now. That is for another time. But what is important is during this period, it is opening up levels of energy, sound waves and other coming from deep from the earth. If you are being given instruction on how to work with this, it can be useful because it keeps you focused. But I would say do not get too hooked on the instruction. The more important thing is a bit like if I lead back to the last thing I was talking about, hope and optimism. If you just hold it in your heart, if you say go, 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 as if you have a child running in a race and you are helping the mom from the sidelines just with your heart saying go, 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 you could do exactly the same thing for that. You can stick to a particular time if that gives you the focus so that you can impart energy. And of course, there's a battery of energy, but this will be like wave upon wave upon wave. So if you forget or you get busy, just join in with the next wave, whenever that is. But cheer it on, because everything that happens from the heart of the energy that moves through the energy Leland system, the moves underneath Alaru, is for the development. Sometimes it is uncomfortable, but it is for the development of this earth, for humanity and humanity's interaction with everything else that lives on the earth. So the nature, the animals, get humans better, and they will be better custodians for everything else on this earth. Understand this?
Thank you. We're going to come over to actually speak to some people who have got their hands up in a moment. But Brexit, let's just talk about Brexit briefly before we do this. What's your view on what's going to happen with Brexit, Zach, in January?
Well, at the moment, the energy is moving into a real digging in of heels. However, we have this energy coming up, and it shifts even the toughest of hills, even the deepest of mules. At the moment, when people dig their heels in, it can look very selfish if they're doing it for themselves, but it can look very dignified. It can look like integrity if you are doing it for a vast group of people. So the people involved have to stop thinking, well, this is okay because I am stopping all of this for this big group of people. They have to think of each individual and say, actually, what is better? Compromise, of course, is necessary. However, if everybody walks away from the table, do not be surprised if they're back there very soon, because that actually suits nobody. So it is how quickly this energy pushes through those people involved as well. At the moment, it is looking very stagnant, but my dear, they do not know that there's a hurricane of energy behind them, you know? And as I say, if they fall at the first hurdle, they'll be back again. Do not be surprised by the time of March that there is March trade on the table.
By March.
It is.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for that. That's yeah, that does give optimism and hope. Okay, Anne Nelson, coming to you first. You should be able to speak now, and you have a question for Zach.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for calling on me. I'm sorry. I just I'm hoping that I'll feel more optimism, and I don't know if you can tell me anything that I need to know.
It can feel very, very dark. When we say dark is before dawn, it is an old expression, but actually we know it. But because we always see dawn coming, we trust that the dawn will come. People in your lifetimes have never seen this before. So whatever is said, whatever is done, it is often hard to believe, to know with your heart, actually things are changing. And I do not expect you to trust me out of blind faith at all. What I would say is allow your heart, and this is true for everybody that is listening, who are feeling that there is a hole there at the moment. Fill it with things that you love. Do not mind being indulgent at the moment. And what I mean by this is things that maybe you would normally give away to other people. Take into yourself. Take in whatever that nurture that you need until we move to this point when it is rushing inside of you. You can welcome it all. You can welcome it. But we also know that this is building blocks. So many people have lost so much. Lost loved ones, lost businesses, lost wealth and finance and abundance. Most of all, most people are feeling that they lost control and they've lost security. Actually, it is just shifting into a better way of being. Yes, it takes time. I cannot say on January the 1st, everybody will be holding hands around the earth and sharing everything they have. We understand. But we do appreciate that it was an old familiar of security that actually was never truly probably there because no one knew that these sorts of things were coming. What people are doing now is really asserting themselves so that they can handle everything. So I would say, my dear, stay true to yourself. Be indulgent with yourself. Allow yourself to cry when you need to. Allow yourself to stamp and fight and shout. We do not mind us being shouted at. If you don't know where to shout, shout at us. But let it out so that the new can come in, the light can come in, the new way of being can come in. But be kind to yourself. You're all like little fragile, like a leaf that falls off the tree. Just, put it between your fingers and it can be very, very fragile. But you can be born anew in this. Yes.
Does that help you, Anne?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for asking that question as well, because I know that that is very much a collective question and so many people will have benefited from hearing Zach's answer there. So thank you. I can see in the chat here, Corey Schumann. Corey, I'll answer this. You're asking what kind of ceremony is best for solstice. Zach actually said party, not ceremony, was the word that he used, which I thought was awesome. Of course, I know that we will all be having our ceremonies as well, but hey, what about having a party and raising our frequency on solstice that way instead and having fun? I thought that was great.
And I would say include the earth in it. Just something of nature. If it is cold and wet outside, bring some of nature in. That will help your body, your ceremony along greatly, because as you honor this change, you are honoring it for the earth as well. You are not only custodians of the earth, you are friends of the earth. So bring a little bit of nature in as well. Or maybe, if you have some animals around, include them in this, and it will feel so much more wholesome into your hearts. Yes.
Thank you. Coming next to, we've got Adrian, sorry, your surname has just, Majidson.
Yes, hi. I had a question I posted in the Q&A. Thank you for calling on me. Just was wondering if there was any direct advice for light workers, way showers, twin flames in the coming years.
Change. Now I say this not as change, but change. And this is because those who have been ahead of the game, what we mean by this, very aware, very sensitive, very feeling. Yes, other people are catching up now, but it can feel quite strange because we are moving into a stage, and Ariella will probably notice, I have been saying recently, I am actually not using the expression light worker anymore, even though I've used it for so long, because it says the title work, that we have to work at light. I actually say we are more heart workers. No harm working for the heart, but also we are going to be light. So that the change that is coming is actually more about with us. You have all done such a good job, a long job, an arduous job, and often sometimes that is a thankless task. Going come with us, everyone move together. And I'm always encouraging the unity. We all move at one. But as we move and people make their own awakenings, their own ventures, their own ascendance happening, our own ability, if we identify ourselves as way-showers and light workers and other such things, also needs to change, so that it is not we are here and we are pulling them anymore, but that we are on the journey together, that we fit into the crowd of us. And sometimes when we do that, that can actually bring up quite a lot of feelings inside as we fit in and we say, oh, I don't know my place anymore because there's a crowd of all these people. But actually, if you relax into it, you can say, but you know what? The crowd can now support me. I can be so much greater in my expanse, and you can reach more people, be with more people without exuding so much energy. So you will be feeling vast shifts, I believe, in all of you, maybe even changing directions in work and different things. I would simply say welcome it though, because we do expect for most people that actually it will be an easier time. We'll not be carrying the weight, the energy of many others, but actually more than everybody, like a network, like a spider's web. Everything connects together, and because of the harmony of that, you all bob along together quite nicely. Understand, yes?
Good to know. Thank you. Celeste, coming to you next. You've got your hand up, Celeste. Just unmute yourself on your side as well, Celeste. Okay. Looks like, unfortunately, that is not going to align. Okay, so we have also got a friend of ours, Claire Taylor Powell. Hello, Claire.
Hello, Ariella. Hello, Janet. Hello, beloved Zach. Thank you for coming to me. Zach, I'm working with a group looking at ancient prophecies and exploring as to whether they are holding secrets for us that are about to be unlocked to help us to manage ourselves so that we can, really capitalize on the energy waves that are coming in. Is there any insight or help that you could give us for our work on that?
The ancient prophecies are codes. Sometimes you look at a prophecy and you think, well, that is out of date. That hasn't happened. But if you look at how it is written, and Ariella will know all about this to do with language as well, and to do with the lettering, it is a code. Each unlocks another key. It is a key for another lock. And therefore, as you can be doing this, even if it does not fit anymore, even just reading, just mouthing the words, feeling the vibration of certain prophecies, the original prophecies, if you can find them, it doesn't matter if it's a translation, that is okay, but not really someone else's version, too much of them. What you can do is you can embed them within. And then we can move through, because each of the prophecies that are coming up and each of the things that they are actually saying is another potential energetic line, which all exist even if we are not on them. It is a bit like different timelines. You might be on a different timeline, but it does not mean the other one doesn't exist. There is still a fire in the energy of it. So you can still capitalize on the prophecies, even if you think, well, that just isn't going to happen anymore. So use the language of it, roll it around, say it out loud if you can, and then feel what happens. And it may happen in your heart, but it may feel energetically in other parts of you as well. So they are still incredibly meaningful, even the ones that seem so redundant these days. Does this help you with your studies?
It does. Thank you very much, Zach. Fantastic, darling. Thank you. Thank you, Ariella.
Thanks, Claire. Question here from Tamara Scott. She's typed this and sent this in. I know that this will be a question for many. It feels like the election in the USA is still undetermined. Does Zach have a prediction on who will ultimately be president? Will it be Trump or Biden?
Yeah, I've been asked about this many times. It is quite correct that it does not feel settled. And this is important, and this is more to do with the astrological situations. There is such a push and a pull, and all things are. To give you just a little bit of analogy, it is like a storm raging in a sea, and there's boats bobbing along in a harbor. Even if the storm stops a little bit, those boats are still bobbing. No one could say they are secure yet. And it is because the energy is still turbulent. There is still much turbulent energy. Now, the interesting thing, and this is to do with polarization, and the main thing that I would, as I say, just so that I can get a little nugget to you, the most important thing about the American election is highlighting the polarization. Whether people believes, votes and all these things, however it is still pretty much half-half. And because of this, when you have a vast majority in anything, the minority can sort of slowly go away because the majority are happy. Here, this means that only half the people are either happy and half the people are sad. Well, if this is ourselves and we are only half happy, half sad, we never get truly joyful. It never really truly merges. What we are expecting to come to light eventually through this is a reworking of not only this government, but many other governments. This could take quite a long time, but looking at the old style of government that has been in place way, way before the way that you live now is truly the most important thing. And this is whoever actually gets in, this is actually the main thing that comes of it, that it is needed to be far more of a panel. It is not one side against the other, which so many countries use that particular model, and having opposing views and fight. As I say, fight is all paradigm. It needs to come into something which is more to do with compromise, and compromise can feel good, but it can also feel like, oh, a bit wishy-washy. But actually, when you're dealing with so many people, to actually get to the point of a joyous, more happiness, there needs to be more harmony. And this is what is highlighting. I would expect that they doesn't feel, and I'll put it as a more settled feeling until perhaps at the moment in time, as I'm following the timeline for that situation and for the Americas, they are giving me around 18th of January or so, but also all the way up till early February, even up to 18th of February. And this is because there could be a little bit chop change. But that is where the potential, everything that is happening in the moment, before people go, well, that is the person, or that is the particular party, for sure. Okay.
4 weeks then. Yeah, thank you. 18th of February. Okay, coming next to it, Queen Net Deborah, it's coming up on my screen here. You have a question? Hello, can you hear us? You may need to unmute yourself on your side. Queen Net Deborah on the screen. Okay, so maybe for those of you who are struggling a little bit technologically, maybe put your question in the chat instead. Okay, we have got another friend, Isabel here, Isabel Odessa. Hi, Isabel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. We can.
Brilliant. So good to see you, Ariella and Janet and Zach. Love you. My question is about the monoliths that have been appearing here and there on the planet and then being dismantled. Does Zach has any take on that, please?
Now, my dear, I know that you listen to me. Zach Chats, we have this question. You will hear it. But for everybody else that is here, these monoliths, we're talking about the fact that we are moving into a Renaissance time. And this is like the art renaissances. There has been much debate. We understand it has been quite funny. And actually the papers, the artists and others guiding to do this work, very much not necessarily knowing all the details about why they are doing this. But it is actually the world that you are moving into, and much of the innovation starts with art. If you actually look throughout centuries, some of the main inventions that you have started from an artistic point of view. And so this is one of the things, lots of energy, lots of communication, lots of awareness, whether you can think of this as tapping into the higher levels of yourself, your soul, and understanding it, gaining information from the universe, or whether you think of galactics or others or helper guides that are coming through. The main point is that as it comes through, it is transmuting in certain ways. And the energy of this time, we have moved through a very creative time. We are moving into that as well. But this energy is about art, creativity through art, and this will be innovation. So it is unsurprising to us that through this art, it has got so many noodles thinking. So many noodles. There's nothing to fear of this. If anything, this is a human's way of when things get bad. You know, like, what do they call it? Gallows humor. When things get bad, people have a little bit of a black joke. And this is a bit like, oh, you know, we got COVID, we got this, we got that. What else would the world not be ready for? Oh, I know, alien invasion. And so they are doing these things. But actually, what these monoliths, if you look to the pointing of where they are, any of those that are still up, you will see the quadrants of the universe. It is a bit of a giveaway some of the energy. And that does not mean the energy that produce these, because humans produce these, but it is the energy that is far more in the field now to be tapped into for new, lighter innovation. Just because something comes from outside of yourself, just because it is something you haven't tapped into before, and I know you know this, Isabel, but for other people as well, does not mean to say it is here to hurt you. Humans have an idea, because of their innate survival that they have evolved through, that any connection we have to look first, is it going to hurt me? Humans are far more likely to hurt it whatever it is. And so it is not about just welcoming anything in. It is a bit like opening your front door and letting everything in. It is not about that. But it is also not about being fearful. It is about through the art. And this is what all art does. It opens up minds to possibilities. It looks at things in different perspective. It opens the heart. And this is what we're moving into, a time of heart coherence. So I think these are rather timely. Do you also, my dear Isabel?
Thank you so much, Zach.
Thank you. So quite a few more questions. We're not going to have time, unfortunately, to answer all of them today, but we've maybe got time for a couple more. Good one here from Barbara Harris. She's saying, my question is about Gaia and the climate emergency. Because of human activity, the Earth is becoming unlivable for many species. Could you give your perspective and guidance, please, Zach?
So this is one of the things that I mentioned, that I believe in the springtime, there be a dip in people of feeling, of seeing, and actually having the information again. It was very much in people's awareness. And then, of course, the situation hit and bombarded with information, illness and things. And it is in many people's minds, but it is not so much in their vision straight away. And it is coming back into people's vision. Two good things that have come out of this. Nature has had time to breathe. Nature is creating solutions that scientists do not even know about yet. You know, nature will always give time and space for its own solutions for the havoc that humans create. But this is a nature solutions. So we are expecting, especially as I said, third eye innovation, quite innovations that could not be imagined even in this moment, because you have not had it before. We are expecting a bit like if you went back, 100 years, people could not imagine what you do with the internet. People could not imagine that they could see their loved one from the other side of the world through a screen. And yet it is here, and you take it as, well, this is science, this is natural, this is what happened. We are expecting this to happen. So the other good thing is, at the moment, all the predictions, humans have the ability to clear things up and to help nature and help it thrive far quicker than any scientific prediction could give to you, because the innovations are not quite here yet. But I would put a caveat to those two things. They can only happen if people let them happen and they push for them. And I would say, yes, this is not about fight energy going in, but it is about peace in action. It is about standing up and also putting your energy to the things that you care about. If you are one that cares for the earth, that cares for the animals, that is where to put your attention. Never think it is too late. And this is true for all of you. All of those helper guides, everyone is a big fan of your world. And we do not want anyone to be living in your science fiction movies in the future, where humans don't thrive, animals don't thrive, nature doesn't thrive. The main innovations will come from nature itself. And then humans tweaking, doing whatever, as humans and intellectual minds with the third eye can do to create bigger, better, greater strategies for then taking that solution and like a net, throwing it far wider. So we see things in a far more positive way than most human beings do. But we also would say, please, please, please don't anyone rest on laurels, because those potentials can only come to light if people grasp them. People grasp them and choose to do it. Understand, Yves?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Zach. Yes, I'm just trying to, there are a lot of questions. I'm just trying to pull out the most common ones, the most common threads coming here. So common thread, understandably, about the financial system, about what is happening with the worldwide financial system here. Jeremy, hi Jeremy, good to see you here. Saying that there's word that it's shifting hands to bring prosperity from the oppressive rulers back to humanity. What are we likely to see in the coming months?
So again, we are moving out of the energy of light and dark, of fighting. Now, that does not mean to say it was not true last month, the month before, last year. Everything is true in its moment. But everything also has the ability to transcend what it was before. So you could say there are many, many different vehicles. I would not call them plans, because this is not heaven sent, and people say humans are making the plans, but there are different vehicles to achieve a way of more unity, more harmony, and more comfort for people on the whole on earth. And I'm not talking material comforts, I'm talking about heart comfort, you know, a comfort to know that you and others have what they need. So the potential at this absolute moment in time, absolute moment, things can change, of course, but this moment, the biggest, strongest light on the potential is for a complete and utter reset. This would happen over a period of time now. We do not expect it to be that every single country gets together and says we completely reset our financial system, our currency. This would be just absolutely confusing, and the computer systems could not take it, and all of these things. But what we are expecting at this moment with the potential is for people to see that rather relying on vast amounts of loans and debts and all of these things, that people, as I said, it's been a very reflective time this year. People on the whole can see we cannot keep going on like this. We are expecting more like a ripple moment of reset. There are, as I said, very other vehicles in action, vehicles which would shift the energy of polarity, one having a lot and someone having another. And obviously that is across nations, across organizations, social systems, all sorts of things. And so all of these vehicles, whichever one comes to light, depending on how much humanity puts energy into it, how much people push for a certain thing to happen, how much they accept that thing happening. Because people can think, oh, you know, I want to love everything, I want to be everything. But then if they say, hang on, why are we the first people to do it? What if this means that we have less wealth than that person? You know, it is a very, very easy trap. You know, you are human beings living in a physical world where physical needs are there and need to be met. And so we just have to be careful. We have to be careful to trust our hearts in the things that are happening and always make the best of any situation that is coming around. So many different vehicles. We're not rolling out the vehicle that Jeremy here is talking of. It is just that the potential at the moment is far more about a far more eyes on the world. You know, everybody seeing a big, big overall reset happening. Ripple, 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 ripple. Understand, yes?
Thank you, Zach. One last question, just because I can't resist it. Thank you, Janet Miller, asking about disclosure. Maybe just in a couple of sentences, if possible, Zach, what is your prediction about ET disclosure? Is it going to happen? We know that it is happening, but is there going to be a more of a global disclosure in the coming year or years?
You know what? This year has made people constantly turn to their friends and loved ones and say, well, I never expected this. And you know what? That has broken down beliefs in people of everything being the same. Before this year, a lot of the disclosures very shocking. After this year, many people would barely blink. And so, you know, everything is about timing. Everything is about timing. Of course, more and more disclosures, because we are moving more and more into light, more and more into truth, more and more into transparency. And so we do expect it, but I would say it will happen almost like you've been waiting for it, and then suddenly it is here. It's like, okay. And some people may notice, some people won't, but it is again what vibration you are in. This is not a polarization of those people over there and these people over here. It is more about what resonates with your heart. It is a bit like someone that is particularly into a particular sport, and they have a friend who has got no interest in it at all. They barely know the sport exists. And it is a similar thing. It is where your vibration is at and what you gain from it. But yes, my dear, the straight answer to your question, we expect more and more disclosure because the world can take it now, can it not? After all, if we throw something else into the mix, you'd say, of course, this is the year of surprises, is it not?
It certainly is. It certainly is. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you for your sage wisdom and guidance as always. So many questions here still in the chat. Apologies if we haven't been able to reach you today. We really do have a lot of people on this call, but I hope that the guidance that has been given has been of maximum help to all of you. Zach, anything that you feel called to share, any last words for this group, any last pieces, nuggets of wisdom? By the way, guys, when he says noodle, it means head, just in case it was lost in translation.
So my dears, the main thing that I would say, don't panic, first of all. Be in heart. Let emotions flow. Honor self. Give self time. Respect yourself at this time. If you can, be healthier than you would normally be, because your body is going through a lot. Allow yourself to be human, and not only allow yourself, revel in being human, because you are human beings going through a shift that doesn't happen in generations upon generations. And so even though it feels so uncomfortable at this time, you truly are the creators of the new earth. All of you, everybody on this planet. And the more people that not only accept, but allow it to happen, the easier the ride for themselves and others. And that does not mean putting stiff upper lip. This does not mean to say, oh, I've got you all. I work with this energy so you can rely on me, because everybody's going through it. It is about just being true to yourself. Be true to yourself, love yourself, allow your heart to expand, and dream in a better future than you could ever imagine in this moment. And you will make manifest, because that is the way of the universe. All that you can, you are adding energy to this cosmos, to this universe. You are like a big vibrating heart in this cuboid of the universe. You know, it looks like dead space out there, but they're all looking at you right now. So be in the moment. Allow it to be what it is. And also grieve for anything that you feel you have lost or has been taken from you of this time. You are allowed to grieve too. Do not be just strong. Allow your vulnerability to be there, but also allow support in, and come out the other side, ideally with a little bit of a smile on your face, because it always feels better when you smile. Does it not? Does it not? Does it not?
It certainly does, Zach. It certainly does. Thank you so much. So much love to you. Thank you for all of the incredible service work that you have been doing to help this planet for many, 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 many years now. We are always honored by your presence, by your sage wisdom and sage guidance. I'm seeing so much love for you and gratitude in the chat as well, Zach. So just thank you as always. We love connecting with you.
Pleasure. And know every single one of you, just even by talking in this way, we have a connection. If you really need a crux, something to shout at, or just something to send a bit of love or hope to, just think of me. I can be by your side. No problem, no problem, no problem. We do not have bodies, far easier for us. Shall I call her back now, my dear?
Yes, please. Thank you, Zach.
Goodbye, my dears. Until next time. Much joy to you all.
Goodbye, Zach.
Cheers, Gami. Ooh. Ooh. He was in deeply there. Hello. Ooh.
Hello, lovely.
Oh.
It's always the mascara moment, isn't it? With the channeling with Zach, with his shakes.
Yes. I have for quite a long time not worn makeup when I'm channeling, but sometimes the Essex in me just has to come out, and I have to put some makeup on.
Janet, I mean, amazing as always. Thank you so, so much for your service work as well. You have helped so many of us, you know, and you're just such an incredible heart worker, as Zach was talking, not talking about light workers anymore. And so many things there from Zach, a lot of illumination, a lot of hope as always. I love how, you know, he really brings in that energy of optimism and a lot of clarity, you know, a lot of clarity about some of the big issues that we are facing. Anything that you feel called to add as you were listening there to what he was saying?
Just from the fact that listening to him, he's talking about all of this, not just the other things as well, so often. And I can get a vibe of when he's really pushing a point home. And I would say my takeaways over like the last maybe few months is how important it is to ideally not get too involved in fight energy. And what I mean by that is I know I've had a huge amount of my own beliefs that I've had for years of certain situations or different things. And even though I haven't thought of it as a fight energy, as these potential, and everything is at the moment changing so rapidly, my beliefs haven't always caught up. And so I can feel myself fighting for that same belief. So that's where it's really hit home for me, because I can see it and I always think, oh, I'm this calm person, I really don't have anger or fight, but actually I do, because if I let an old belief go that I believed for maybe 5 or 10 years and felt strongly about it, something's got to take its place. And that can make you feel a bit wobbly sometimes as well. So what I've been doing myself is saying, even though I don't know, I don't always want to change a belief with a belief, because everything's changing. So everything I've been doing, and this is something that he's been talking about, this word allowing, but also I've just said, I'm just going to replace it at the moment with light. I find sometimes myself, when I say I replace it with love, I find that a bit tricky. It feels a bit too, what is that? But I can easily imagine light, and light filling a space instead. And I think, well, when the new information drops in, I'll know it. And so I think that moving out of that sort of fight energy, even if he's talked a lot about righteous fight, and actually that's not helping things, it keeps the vibration down. And more that we can just think of it as a transcendence. Yes, there are times, as he said, you know, that it is important we stand up. It's not about not having your sovereignty, it's just knowing when that tips a balance into actually defensiveness and fighting and things like that. So that has been, for me, I mean, there's a gazillion things he's said that have been like, whoa, light bulb moments. But that has, I think for me personally, I've really felt that shift and that change. And I've noticed when yourself or other people have been speaking to Zach, as soon as someone says anything that's a little bit about, which naturally we would, about positions, even good, bad, light, dark, forces and different things, he almost jumps on it. Not because he doesn't like the question, but it's another opportunity for him to push that idea home that we are, even though it's going to take a long time, we're moving into an age where fight will not be our automatic response. It will still be there, he says, in the back, because we live on a world that will still have a level of polarity. It just won't be our instinct anymore to do it. Our instinct will be about hearts and connection and unity, and actually that is more when that doesn't work.
Well, I think very interesting what we're all going to experience right after winter solstice and this great shift, and Zach very much aligning with what a lot of people are talking about as stepping into the age of Aquarius. Not that necessarily we're going to see the thunderclaps and all of that, but you know, this shift, and he speaks about our sacred geometry changing us at the level of light. I would call that the blueprint, right? I speak of it in terms of the blueprint shifting and upgrading, and this indeed being this exciting time, which, you know, humanity has or has been prophesied for a long time in humanity, where we are going to be, some might call it mutating or transfigurating, right, into this next evolved species. right? This next evolved blueprint, the quantum human blueprint, as I call it, Homo divinus, Homo galacticus, all of these different terms. So I just think very, very interesting, right? Very, very interesting what we are going to be experiencing as we embody and integrate that more and more. Probably not going to happen overnight, but so many of us now waking up to this nature, and so many of us are having these awakening experiences. So many of our gifts, these higher, gifts, are coming online. So I think that's going to be very, very exciting indeed, right?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more.
So talking about upgrades and talking about gifts coming online, so do consider our Christmas invitation to you, Janet and my Christmas invitation. So I spoke about it briefly at the start of this call, but we are rolling 3 of our favorite programs into a special Christmas or winter solstice Age of Aquarius bundle for you. So you have a combination of the Quantum Dark Arts Defense Training, which is a certification course, which Janet and I co-created, which really supports you in terms of being an energy master, learning how to transition souls, learning how to clear intrusive energy to really step into energy mastery. You can create a spiritually based business. By going through that certification. It does give you a full certification at the end of it, so you can start your practice. There's a whole module there, which I teach, which is all enlightened business strategies as well, to really support you on your way. So that is a program which is a serious empowerment program, and also will help you to create a spiritually based business and at least $15,000 in your first year. We have packaged that in with Creation Code Initiate program, which is my blueprint activation program. So it's actually taking you through a 4-month process to upgrade your blueprint, your human blueprint, to what we call the quantum human blueprint. Will support you to more easily access these gifts, will align you with your higher purpose, will give you a ton of illumination and transformation in terms of you stepping into that new blueprint. And then lastly, we've got mine and Janet's 4-week energy mastery course, which is just full of tons of progressive teachings all about energy mastery, something which will really support you in this time. So together combined, that is nearly £5,000 worth of value. That's what it would normally cost if we were doing it individually. But we have put it together for you, really wanting to support and empower as many of you as possible. So it's at just £888. That's the pay in full, or there's a monthly payment plan, which makes it more affordable. It's about $1,111 in total, or 200, and I think it's 66, or it could be 77 a month in pounds if you do the monthly. And remember, for the first 30 of you, so if you've had a question today but we haven't quite been able to get to you, Janet is actually going to be facilitating a intimate group chat for the first 30 people that sign up to this. So to give you more of an opportunity to get your questions answered. That's going to be happening in January. And the offer ends, by the way, this offer ends on the 31st of December. And after then, we will need to reinstate the previous pricing, because we definitely can't hold it that low for forever. So do consider that. The link is in the chat there for you again. And we have loved co-creating these courses for them this year, haven't we, Janet?
Absolutely. It's the best thing that's come out of all of this, because I'm always so busy, aren't I? And you jumped on it. As soon as I had to cancel all my workshops, you said, I've got an idea. And it was a brilliant idea. So it gave us the opportunity. And I know there have been blessings for a lot of us through this. It gave us the opportunity to create it. And I remember us talking at the end of it, just saying how much we enjoyed doing it and sharing it. It's been really fantastic.
Feedback was incredible. There's quite a few here actually I've seen in the chat sharing about how empowering the Quantum Dark Arts Defense Training and the energy management was as well. So yes, it is. I'm often the ideas alchemist is what I've discovered. I often get the nudge, right, on what to create. So yeah, definitely came through very strongly, and it was a great use of our time as well with COVID to put this together. But yeah, just thank you again. Thank you so much, Janet. I never cease to be, even though we've been on a deep journey, you and I, for the past 4 or 5 years, I just absolutely adore channeling. I adore your channeling, because I think it is such a, it's something that the channelers like Janet, some of their unique service gifts that they're sharing with humanity is that it's the most tangible evidence that we can have really of spirit, right? Outside having that profound experience yourself with spirit, actually seeing a channel like Janet and having that wisdom come through, I think it is such evidence, for those that feel it in our hearts, and those that are open to spirit, that we are really, that we're not alone, actually, that we're not alone, that we have so much support. So, just thank you again for your service, Janet. It's been incredible. Incredible as always, and she's a master teacher in her own right. I mean, she's a channel, but she's an incredible teacher as well. So we're very, very blessed, to have you share tonight. And I know it's supported so many people, so many amazing comments in the chat. So listen, thank you so much to all of you. It's really been an honor to share this space, this time with you tonight. I really hope, and and it looks like from the comments, it has really served you, really supported you, given you some hope, some optimism on your path. I love that first question that was asked tonight, because I think it was so important, for all of us as we're stepping into 2021. It's like, we want to, dare we feel hope, dare we feel optimism right after this year. And I think the resounding guidance that's come through from Zach tonight has been, that's absolutely the best intention and the best way to be, to be in that energy of hope, of optimism as much as we can. And whatever is going on in the world, whether we agree or disagree, or with the vaccine, we all have our own opinions with this. And I loved what he said there about setting that intention, that we hope that even if we're somebody who feels adamantly that we don't want to have it, that we hope that the people who are choosing to have it, we hope that it brings them joy and it brings them peace. I thought that was a really lovely redirection of that energy as well. So yeah, just thank you for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you more and journeying with you in 2021. And we are absolutely committed to supporting the awakening journey to go through this incredible shift that we've all come here to go through together. So we love having you in the community, and it certainly gives us our purpose. So thank you for that. Janet, anything that you want to say before we go?
On a really practical note, I know we're on Facebook now, and anytime I do these sorts of things, people always try and connect with me, and I'm not on any social media at all. And I know that gets frustrated for people. They find a really old personal page from when Facebook started for me, and that's it. And so it was just to say, I also know a lot of people looking at my website, it's been down for a really long time. It is back. It is back as of today. It is a work in process, just like I am. So it's not all absolutely as I want it to be, but it's there. There's and just because of Zach, really, more than anything, there's all the other stuff. There's stuff with Ariella that's on there. But if you want to know more about Zach or connecting with Zach or myself, of course, and it's it might not come up with my name because it's been offline for so long, and I'm sure we'll put it in the chat and put it out, however, but it's planet-therapies.com. And that's me, Janet Trelaw. So take a look at that. I've done a free meditation for anyone that signs up to my mailing list. I'm getting with the new age, only about 10 years behind everyone else, but still. But it's just to say thank you to everybody. And even though I'm not on social media, my energy is out there. There's lots of different ways to connect in other ways. And just so grateful for Ariella for having this great idea to do this, because the more people that can get some connection, and I think it's not about reassurance, but just knowing, feeling the energy that they're on the right track, I think is fantastic at this time, because we're all having wobbles. So, you know, we'll just power through, as he says. And just like Ariella says, you know, I like hearing things that I don't expect from Zach, because I know I might have quite strong opinions about vaccines and things. And it has been fascinating hearing him talking about the vaccine and being able to sit in my meadow and think, hang on, mate, that's not quite what I think, because that's the joy of being an out of body channel as well. So it's blessing to me as well. Thank you.
No, thank you for that. Definitely do go and check out Janet's website. We've also put the link for you in the chat here. So as Janet said, it's planet-therapies.com. We will be sending it out. Yes, there will be a replay. I can see some questions in there as well. We will be sending out a replay. And also we'll be sending out Janet's website as well with that replay, because I know so many people, including myself, and you know, I've just been so grateful for both Janet and Zach's support in my ascension journey. You know, and to have a trusted guide like this, and to have this high dimensional perspective from such a wise and loving guide such as Zach is invaluable, actually, in the ascension journey. Absolutely invaluable. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Janet, I'm very pleased that you've got a free gift on your website now. The new age, the new technical age has arrived, which is awesome. So
I haven't seen it yet.
when you sign up, I'm sure it's great. When you sign up to that, then Janet will be able to let you know as well. She'll be able to email you and let you know when there's going to be different things on with Zach, so you can be a part of that. So definitely do check that out. And again, just thank you so much, everybody. And we're just so grateful, you know, to be on this journey with you. So thank you for your presence tonight, and much, much love.
Thank you.